What's up, folks? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Another late night. Let's get this bitch popping. Let's get this video popping. Where my sexy ladies at? I'm gonna get ready to cut some R&B segments for y'all. I'm gonna order like 62 bottles of baby oil. Squeeze them like that. Play some Keith Sweat or something. I'm messing with y'all. Oh, what do we have here? What do we have here? What do we have here? 420's already in the building. Welcome, welcome. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Anybody that gets here at the start. I know I don't have no scheduled time. I got to figure out how to work my schedule time with the OBS thing, because computer bullshit. How y'all feeling tonight? More news on the Diddy stick. I figured what I was going to do, it just made more sense since there's more information continuously coming out about the P Diddy situation, just to continue on doing the P Diddy stuff for a bit. I figured the vibe would be better for to do the music show on Friday night, the Drake and Kendrick Lamar. So that made a whole lot more sense. Wednesdays, motherfuckers still, a lot of people getting ready for work. So I figured we wait till the weekend to do that. Do that on a Friday night. People may be more of a mood to hear music late night, all, you know. Plus the Drake and Kendrick shit ain't going nowheres. Drake's been quiet. But I do have the show ready. I do got the list of tracks all ready for y'all. And I thought about it. I was like, after the Kendrick and Drake shit, can I actually do another like rap battle like that? Like lengthy wise, I don't think there's ever been a back and forth between two rappers with as many diss tracks amongst each other that I can remember. 50 Cent, if you want to count 50 Cent and everybody else. But other than that, there never was 4 or 5 diss tracks, 6 or 7 each between each other, maybe 8. I think that's kind of been the most out of any back and forth between each other. LL and Cannabis was like 1 or 2 tracks. Everybody's kind of been like 1 or 2 tracks. Jay-Z and Nas was like 1 or 2 tracks. That wasn't even a bunch. You got Ether and Takeover. So I thought it might have been an interesting thing to do every now and then, but I was like, there's not a lot like they do that like content to do that with outside the Drake and Kendrick. We got Diddy. They denied P Diddy's bail again, folks. He was trying to put up that big guap, and they said no, no, no. Who's the singer that sing that song? What's her name? Not Katy Perry, the other chick. They had memes going around like crazy. I shared one earlier on my community wall with R. Kelly and Diddy. But there's a lot more to the story. Amy Winehouse, thank you. Amy Winehouse is gone, right? She had OD, right? Correct? That's been many years now. Tomby. You see Dwight Howard, I don't know what it was. I just seen some clip on Facebook or something earlier. I thought it was that big goddamn buff African dude. All I seen was a big ass nigga. I thought it was that nigga, you know. Sharpie, that nigga. I clicked the thing. I go, that's not him. That kind of look. And I click in the Dwight. I was like, oh goddamn. Dwight said 8 feet tall and dense. Motherfucker look tall as shit. If y'all ain't seen that Dwight Howard dance video, it is something to check out. But he did look like that African buff dude for a second. The dude be, you be anywheres. You be in a Mexican restaurant enjoying your fucking burrito. This nigga shot by. Out of nowhere. Don't that nigga make you sick? Every goddamn where. Big buff muscle ass nigga dancing to every goddamn bite. That don't even make sense. I told you last night. Go back and watch it. There's something wrong with some of these folks. And people will wind it up and tell you, you just hating. He just having fun. You know who's just having fun? Laughing at these motherfuckers. I'll wait for it as I enjoy my beautiful candy apple flavored Fuego. Oh, this is one of the best sodas yet. And I don't even be drinking soda like that, but this Fuego thing, ooh, Fuego. The candy apple flavor and fireworks. Well, motherfucking P Diddy is gonna be like, he need to call Akon and get some advice about when he locked up. I guess Cassie has spoke out. I'm gonna play something from another YouTuber in a moment here. I think I want to be correct. I don't want to say the lady's wrong. The name correct. It's Melanie King. Well, she updated something about Cassie bringing receipts to court to make sure the judge denies the bail again. So like they putting the pressure on dude. But as I said last night, Diddy the scapegoat. Diddy the motherfucking scapegoat. Jaguar Wright, I'm gonna play that video earlier. She's done an update video. I'll play the audio of that later. And she spoke on, I guess 50 Cent too is somehow involved and mixed in some of this shit somehow. A lot of this shit about to be interesting. It's about to be what I honestly believe what this is. And this is not justifying or trying to fucking save Diddy in no shape or form. But there's a bigger picture going on. What I really think was going down is, see, this kind of event was planned a while ago where they're getting ready to start replacing our old celebrities with new celebrities. And these new celebrities are all going to be left-leaning motherfuckers. They're all going to be fairies and all these other type motherfuckers. They're all going to be what's the word they use, influencers. That's why they've done a hell of a job the last few years to try to push these influencers as being actual celebrities. They're getting ready to replace the old guard. In come the replacements. If y'all think that none of these new motherfuckers is doing the same thing when they hang around the same people, they all go to these parties too, these new motherfuckers. They make it here on YouTube, get a couple, get big, get happy as shit, they get an invite to some of them white parties. They like rubbing elbows with these motherfuckers. So I believe there's a bigger picture to this thing. Now, Diddy, on the other hand, Diddy gonna tell? If Diddy go down, a lot of other people going down. Going back to something I said when we were talking about the baby oil jokes last night and shit, wasn't there a video of Meek Mill and Diddy coming out of like a hotel room all like sweaty or baby oiled up, and niggas just played it off as like they were. And it makes sense to how he fucked up. Man, listen. I don't even, now you look back on it, I don't even know how, if Nicki is a bull dyke, right? This is all allegedly. Allegedly. Okay, it's all allegedly. If Nikki is a bull dyke, right? Did she have fucking Meek kind of like cuffed the whole fucking time? And she was just, sometimes these bitches be using niggas like little puppies. To the public, they may fool you, make you believe they actually with somebody. But behind the scenes, they treating that boy like a cuck. And we know cuck is a thing these days. A lot of people they into that cuck. And she never really had no respect for Meek any goddamn ways. That's why she had no problem leaving Meek the way she left Meek and disrespected him out the door. You know what else is funny? When you hear all these niggas rap about threesomes and having bitches and all this shit, all I can think about now with these rap niggas is Diddy calls, Diddy parties. Like their rap, when you hear it in their raps, they may not even be talking about like real life situations. It's still real life situations. No, they're talking about like shit like they've been telling us the whole time. There's quite a few lyrics. I mean, there's another Biggie lyric I forgot to bring up last night, and it will come to my head tonight. That was very suspect too. A lot of these rap niggas, I've been writing lyrics for 20 years. Gay lyric things don't pop up in my head. Like I said last night, I wouldn't have thought you could give me the baddest 25 bitches on the planet. I never thought about slipping their daddy Slurpee. Was never a fucking thought. Slipping their Slurpee. Shit, that's always a thought. But they daddy? Another thing about our fucking bitch ass culture, cause let's be honest, cause our culture is so pussyfied now. Well, these niggas are sissified. As I spoke last night about the bro buddy thing that niggas do. Remember years ago I was on here and I told niggas I go under remember Cat Williams played a character on the Boondocks. It was called A Pimp Named Slickback, and you better say it all. It's not a pimp named Slickback. It's a pimp named Slickback. One word. Right? And a pimp named Slickback used to say, "Oh, no, I don't do nothing for the homies, the cronies, the bro, whatever you niggas is calling each other these days. It sound ice cream to me." Remember, how many of y'all remember that shit? Boondocks is old now. Weird how time just... I told niggas years ago that was kind of the motherfucking mindset that I took on a long time ago, because when you sit back and look at our culture, we do push a lot of stuff that it looks like ice cream. It just looks really suspect. It's very easy to manipulate young dummies. Very easy. He said, 420 said, Amy died at 27, overdose. Usher and Bieber's not talking for now. Usher is probably put in a position right now. You got to understand, Usher's been in the game since, when did Usher come in? 94? 5? 4? Usher's been in since he was a young boy too. Allegedly, they horse tranquilized his booty too. You feel me? Again, look at all the young men and women they pulled into the industry, and they instantly turned them into adults. And we were always okay with the young boys. Think about this. We never had a problem with the young boys being over-sexualized by adult women. Not realizing those adult women were being brought to them by whom? You think them niggas was just out there macking on grown women? No. Them grown women were being brought to them young men. How come none of them young women on both sides, men and women, but especially how come none of them women are never brought upon to face anything? We don't even know half of these fucking women touching them young boys. Then the cycle repeats because the young boys turn around and then start fucking with the Lil Kims and Lil Foxies, Foxy Browns of the world. It's a sick cycle. It's a taut cycle. It's a taut cycle from people with power. I'm going to play this video here in a second of... I'm trying to find it. Just give me a second. Of Melanie King. Let's get it up here on the board. Hey, 420, let me know if the audio is fine. I need the feedback from the chat. You guys are the ones listening as well. Y'all let me know. Let me tune this in. Let y'all hear this. I want to hear it as well.
Well, it's official. Diddy has been denied a second time to get a bond, to get bail. He will be remaining in jail until his trial, and we don't know when that will start. That can take months or it can take years. As we know, they are still building the case, and as I've reported, that Hollywood is terrified because TMZ, everyone is reporting that other people are going to fall, other executives, other people in Hollywood, the music industry, are tied to Diddy. We all know that. And what's important with this is that Diddy tried to get bail by offering so many things, but the biggest thing was $50 million he tried to use as collateral so that he can get bail. I read to you in a live stream the actual detention letter and why they said he needed to stay in. In this video, I'm going to give you details about what happened in the court, and I have text messages that Diddy actually sent, okay? He actually sent, there's some details, there's some evidence, new evidence that was presented today at this bail hearing, okay? As well as I have some transcript of what was said in this bail hearing. So you're going to hear what the judge had to say, what the lawyers had to say, and a few of those details. But now I'm going to give you kind of like the broad stroke of what happened, and then we'll get into the little nitty gritty that I know you guys want to know about. Make sure that you are subscribed and hit the notification bell because you're not going to want to miss any. To propose a $50 million bail package in an effort to avoid serving months in the notorious Metropolitan Detention Center. Guys, the Metropolitan Detention Center, that's where R. Kelly had been held. I think Ghislaine Epstein's friend, I think you can't say their whole names. It's something weird. Someone told me. So she was held there. It is problems with rats, maggots in the food, all of that. So I'm going to bring you that video of how he has gone from riches to rags. Normally it's rags to riches. Well, brother is from riches to rags in one of the worst detention centers in the country in Brooklyn, New York. Combs' lawyers told the judge that Combs was not a flight risk nor dangerous despite
Did he walk in that motherfucker? All you gonna hear is, my mind be telling me no, but my body be telling me yeah. Baby. The first thing that he gonna hear, did he bring your ass over here, boy?
Computer seen differently. His lawyers said they revoked Combs' passport months ago and highlighted his charitable work in an attempt to convince the judge, boy, stop playing in our face. Charitable work? Okay. What? That's just crazy. But District Court Judge Andrew Carter was unconvinced and denied Combs' wish. So this is the second judge. The first was a magistrate judge yesterday, and this is the actual judge that will be presiding over the case now. Because when you appeal what a judge has ruled, usually it goes to another judge or a panel or something like that.
So I come to find out that the sex trafficking, now, don't take my exact word for it, but this is just information that I'm learning, that he's being charged sex trafficking because any payment for a prostitute across border is technically sex trafficking. So it may not be as what's the word I'm looking for? As disgusting as it seems to be. It's more participants Not saying nobody was fucking coerced or done wrong, anything like that. Excuse me. But when you get arrested, the police be throwing in extra. They can throw in what they perceive by law. You get what I'm trying to say? They try to throw whatever they can at you. The book, basically, as they say. So there's this. If nobody testifies against them, right? If none of these girls come out, is any of this stuff going to stick? Because all the girls would have to come out for the sex trafficking, wouldn't they? I could be totally ignorant on the situation. I'm just trying to make sense here. Because he's being charged. He's not convicted yet. Two different things. Let me finish playing this here.
Actually went to an actual judge for the case. Judge Carter said there is no condition or set of conditions that would ensure the safety of the community or that Combs would not contact witnesses. The bail hearing occurred approximately 24 hours after Combs pleaded not guilty to the racketeering, trafficking, and transportation to engage in selling box, we'll say. Mark Agnifilo, a lawyer for Combs, has insisted that his client is an innocent man with nothing to hide and told reporters they were prepared to fight the charges. Okay. His lawyer is actually very good. There is an interview that he did, and I actually want to play it. He's worth every I mean, he wasn't worth it with this. Because I think there's nothing that can get him out, could have got Diddy out. But this lawyer, he is good at the gift of gab, and I want to see how a jury would respond to him, because he is worth his dollar. When you guys see this interview, he was almost convincing me that maybe I'm believing the wrong thing. Like, that's how the man is gifted.
Because there's obviously more to the story. That's no one. And like I said, no way trying to justify Diddy. I don't know none of these niggas' business. But knowing that they're throwing Diddy under the bus right now, if he's the only one supposedly going down, I don't think this shit's going to stick. It's going to have to be a bunch of other people going down. Diddy not going down by himself. If y'all think this is another R. Kelly case, it's not. R. Kelly didn't have the influence that Diddy has. He doesn't have the pull. So there's going to have to be people come out, like someone said in the chat room. More people are going to have to come out for this situation. What up, Houday?
Give it to him. But let's get into this. All right. So these are the key points. Okay. So we're going to start actually from the beginning here. Okay, so then that's his lawyer. That's the guy I just referred to. Good lawyer there, obviously. Millions of dollars for him to hire him. So it started with music mogul Sean Diddy Combs attended his bail hearing at the Thurgood Marshall U.S. Courthouse in New York City on Wednesday to ask a judge to allow him to remain under house arrest instead of jail as he awaits his trafficking and racketeering trial. Around 3:30 p.m., Combs sat in the courtroom at the defense table, and he was wearing a black shirt. Sean Diddy Combs' children, Quincy Brown, that's not his child, but okay, Christian King Combs and Justin Combs, allegedly Justin Combs is not his child either, arrived at a New York courthouse.
Hold up. So, I'm confused, because Justin is Albie Short's son. Who's Quincy's son? I mean, father. So, I'm confused in a mug. So, Diddy only got the one boy. The other two aren't his? I already knew that the light-skinned one was Al's. I already knew that. That's old news. But y'all, no matter how much money these industry niggas got, they still all sharing the same females. Just passing them around.
on Wednesday afternoon to attend their father's bail hearing. Combs' adult sons attended his first appearance in arraignment on Tuesday afternoon. All agreed to co-sign their father's $50 million bail, which a judge denied yesterday.
They going after that money.
Federal prosecutors are trying to convince a district court judge that Combs poses a danger to the community and should be jailed while awaiting trial, accusing the music mogul of extorting his victims. They cited examples from victims who alleged he filmed freak-offs and then used them as blackmail. Prosecutors said the investigation is ongoing and therefore they believe Combs should be held in jail while they continue to investigate the allegations. They fear that his associates and witnesses would...
So, Diddy got all these rappers, all these so-called gangsters, all these females, and had all them blackmailed. That's what I'm saying. If nobody's coming out to snitch, this shit ain't gonna stick. There's gonna have to be a lot of squealing. For y'all to believe that Diddy just did all this shit by himself, everybody was just all set up and blackmailed. Man, what we are watching is a lifestyle. A lifestyle. That's exactly what's going on. What we're finding out is the rumors that aren't rumors. The tinfoil hat people, once again, are right. That's all we're finding out. None of this shit is new. How long have we been calling most of these niggas in the industry ice cream? For years. How many times have we been talking about the dirt that goes on in the industry? For years. I told you what I believe is happening. They're starting to cancel out our celebrities. Especially the males. It's a new era for celebrities, i.e. the influencers. Time to start taking the money away from people who got power in places you're no longer needed. You're no longer needed. You're not, if you're paying attention, your generational wealth will not be passed down, nigga. We only let you get so high, and then we gotta take that shit down. This shit always keeps happening to black men. Where's the white guy? What's his name? The other dude, the Einstein, whatever. The dude, you know what I'm talking about. You notice media ain't even going a quarter as hard. They only go after certain people when they got agendas. They don't go after the controllers. They don't go after the controllers, but they will take your ass down quick. If you ain't part of their little, I believe it's certain families. I believe it's certain bloodlines. I don't even necessarily mean it's just black people. If you're white, they'll get you too. You ain't part of certain fucking bloodlines. Let's get back to Melanie King here. Shout out to everybody that's in here listening. Appreciate y'all. Epstein, thank you. That's exactly what I was thinking. They ain't going hard on Epstein the way they going hard on Diddy. Who you think has more pull? And then we'll make the excuse. This is why the behavior don't stop. Because we'll make the excuse.
Refuse to speak about the alleged crimes they witnessed. Half a dozen escorts is just the tip of the iceberg of the number of escorts that have participated in freak-offs, federal prosecutors told the judge.
At 6.
The risk of obstruction to this...
That's 6 escorts, just a little bit more. It's not a lot. That's what I'm saying. Listen.
Case is heightened because of the defendant's power, the U.S. attorney said. His influence makes it so difficult for witnesses to share their experiences and to trust that the government can keep them safe from him. Whew. Okay.
He pissed somebody off.
Defense attorneys for Combs argued that the music mogul and rapper only contacted a witness multiple times because she was concerned about media attention in the aftermath of Cassie's 2023 lawsuit. Boy, stop lying. You weren't worried about that lady. You weren't thinking about her. And you really, really? Combs' attorneys assured a judge that the music mogul would not have access to a cell phone or the internet if he was granted house arrest instead of jail. They proposed that they would use a private intelligence company, Sage Intelligence, to monitor Combs 24/7. Additionally, they would maintain a visitor log, and only pre-approved guests, like his mother, sister, children, or the mothers of his children, would be permitted to come into his home. Allegedly, he had one of the mother of three of his children deleted, and his stepson, the oldest one. So four of his children deleted. So that says a lot. You really care about the mothers of your children. They argue that Combs is responsible and deeply respects the court's authority because he flew to New York ahead of the charges being brought against him. Judge Carter hounded defense attorneys about the dangerousness.
Because Diddy knew. He flew to New York ahead of time because he was tipped off, meaning Diddy is going to be willingly participating. He's not going to. Y'all think Diddy trying to go to jail? That's why I say if nobody gets told on, if nobody comes out and spill the beans, Diddy ain't going to. He's not good. This shit's not sticking. One of them niggas is going to have to come out, or one of them women are going to have to come out and have some real evidence to actually put him in jail. Will stain his reputation? Oh, yeah. But will this shit possibly hold up? It may not hold up if nobody comes out. Because you got to understand, this will be a ripple effect. You know how many of them niggas right now are low-key calling each other right now? Or visiting each other to try to stay away from the feds? They're all panicking right now. One tells it's like the Jenga. It's like the Jenga blocks. They're gonna be. It's gonna be a cause and effect. Diddy ain't going down by himself.
Combs citing security camera footage of him physically assaulting a victim in 2016. That's Cassie, his ex-girlfriend. Combs' defense attorneys claimed the actions in the video were a result of intense emotions from a couple who loved, in quotations, loved each other. The lawyer said the two were fighting due to infidelity. Judge Carter responded, "What does that have to do with him punching her, throwing a vase at her? What's love got to do with that?" Oh, spicy judge. We have a spicy judge. Okay. I can't wait for the rest of these hearings. And then it says Judge Carter denied Combs' second request for bail, saying he's dangerous, and the bail package does not address flight risk concerns. Combs will return to the Metropolitan.
Federal agents found AR-15s and 1,000 bottles of baby oil. They put those two together like they're two weapons. Agents found AR-15s and 1,000 bottles of baby oil. Like, them shit is automatic baby oil bullets or some shit. They're crazy, man.
In the Metropolitan Detention Center, which is a horrible place to be. Rats crawling around, maggots, fights, all types of things are going on there. Okay, so now let me give you more details, and I'm now going to give you some of the transcript of what happened today in court. There's a lot, so hold on to your hats. Okay, so I just wanted to put something up on the screen while I read these different texts that I have that are going to come out. I'm not going to be able to show them on the screen, but I will be reading them out. Just listen as we go along versus what's on there. But there is Diddy right there. Of course, they do not allow any type of camera in the courtroom in New York. They do not allow it, and federally, they don't allow it. So that's what we have, his lawyer, and then Diddy. And I believe that was yesterday. That could have been today. But he was wearing, I guess, the same thing yesterday. But he should be in an orange jumpsuit today, right? Right? Okay. So here we go. Starting with the beginning. Okay, and some of this is going to be descriptive, and some of it is going to be actual text and things that were said in the courtroom. So it is in a high-ceiling courtroom, which is courtroom 110. Sean Combs is at the defense table, still in a black shirt. Oh, there we go. Not the MDC tan uniform. Answered my questions. I should have started reading. Two U.S. Marshals seated behind him. waiting on Judge Andrew L. Carter. All rise, government. AUSA Emily Johnson. The freak-offs were elaborate. They began in 2009 and extended into this year. The freak-offs were arranged with his entourage. The defendant used narcotics so that the victims would continue ketamine, GHB, and others. Here we go. And this is her continuing. The defendant will record these freak-offs at least in part to use them as blackmail. We have an email. A victim says, "You were going to make me. I'm not going to say it on the public record, or you were going to leak some freak off shite." A different victim wrote, "He said he was going to expose me with the X tape. I was drugged." That's just two examples. And so it's rich when the defendant submits.
All right, we're gonna get back to this for a sec. This one, this is. I need a little bit more coffee to wake me up. Well, I'm gonna put on the video of Jaguar Wright real quick, so you guys can hear what she said earlier today on what's the guy's video? I just want to make sure I'm giving credit to the videos that I'm playing. To Real Life Productions, the YouTube channel. So I'm going to play that real quick. So let me fix the situation here. The Jaguar to me has a lot more insight to the inside of things compared to just listening to somebody do something that I can do myself. But let's play some Jaggy. Some Jaggy! Jaggy Wright!
Yeah, right. I wasn't prepared for that part.
Let's do it like this. We're gonna get everything on record, man. Real Life Street Stars. We have. I can't even put the adjective in front of your name. As far as whistleblower, truth teller. I'll let you give your own adjectives, but we have Jaguar Wright, who technically, as of this moment, people are calling Wright, making her first exclusive response to the hammer, or it coming down on Diddy, Sean Combs, the Diddy, Puff Daddy, all the monikers he has, it's come down on him. Jaguar, it's been 304 days since Cassie's lawsuit hit the internet. 304 days that we brought you in and you start speaking on what's to come, and you said it. They could go back and watch it and see that you mentioned, oh, it's coming down. Give it 2 months. Give it 3. Actually, give it about 9 months. Look, we're looking around September, is what you said. Everyone would ask, how do you know? How did she know? How did she know? And now we have you here with what you said come to pass.
Again.
What are your thoughts, please?
I want my perp walk. I'm feeling like Lil Wayne right now. I feel like I'm getting cheated. I want the perp walk. I want the twisty ties. I want him on the ground. I want people putting his head into the car. I want that. That's what they did to the kids.
Yeah, there's never been an image of Diddy in handcuffs.
No, we need that. We need that. I need that perp walk. So as I keep reaching out to victims, I can let them know it's safe to come outside.
So let me ask you, Jag. Diddy was, and we're gonna go through this whole thing real quick.
Jaguar warned y'all. That's what they saying on the associate. They got like 13,000 people or so over there now.
Yeah.
And they was watching me on TikTok. They was telling me in the chat, "Don't cry, Jag."
Wow.
How is the Associated Press commentating on what I'm doing in my TikTok?
No, listen, I was on the academics page, and everyone's typing in Jaguar Wright was right. He's trying to say, hey, listen, I hear y'all, but they're letting him know. Go back and listen to Jaguar Wright. Now you have to go watch everything she said.
Yeah, on the blue couch.
Can you give me your thoughts when Diddy comes to New York? He's seen walking the streets of New York with his son. right before the feds. They were supposed to
Yeah.
arrest him today, but they chose to do it last night.
Well, yeah, because they probably felt like he was getting itchy,
Mm.
and he might have been trying something. I mean, he did what all of the good fellas do when they know that they get ready to go to jail. They come home, they have dinner with everybody, they go to their favorite places.
Man,
That last good time.
there's a song that goes around, Jack. I believe it's called 1,000 bottles of baby oil on the wall. Take one down and passing it around. When you hear this indictment being unsealed and to hear the depravity of the
Should I? You know what? I'm gonna say it again because there might be some people who have never been through here to the blue couch. These niggas is wild. They procure bitches to do damage and wild shit. Like I get with something like that. I said, why don't nobody ever want to believe me?
oh, without question.
Janelle Jamal said it himself. Jaguar sat on the couch and said he put the boots to that girl, and y'all said she was a liar, and then we seen it, and then y'all just said, I want my perk walk. That's all I want. The only thing that's gonna make any of this hoopla worth it is if he does a perk walk, if he gets put into a car, if he is treated like the criminal that he is on camera. See, they got all of these images leading up to the secret arrest of him having a good time and doing all of that. But when is he gonna start having a bad time?
So for the victims,
I've never had a good time when I go to lock up. It's always annoying. You know, every time I've been arrested for something that I didn't do, and yet nobody said, but did he get arrested finally and get the book ready to be thrown at his very, very, very dancing feet? They're going to beat his feet with that law book. That's how many crimes he's done. And everyone's so surprised. You know how weird that is to me?
that is. That is.
Y'all watch me get arrested there just Virginia bringing Gene Deal to Dallas.
Man, I think they wanted to really silence some things that you had to say, and you know, we can talk about that all day later. What I love to do, Jack, is let's start with the right now of what we know, and let's work backwards.
I want my
Uh,
perp walk.
All the names they've called Jaguar over the last few years. All the names they've called her. She was right. It seems to be she was right. Now, this is going to get more interesting because she later on brings up 50 Cent's name in this shit, too. There's going to be more names that's going to be involved here. There's something else that caught my ears, too, but I'll point it out when it comes up here. We're going to get back into the vid.
he offered $50 million, $50 million to be freed. The judge right now, because again, this is breaking news. The judge right now is she went back to her chambers to consider, but the government says that is not enough
No
money.
bond. No
No bond.
bond. Just like they did to me when they first started using my ex-husband to use our custody with our son Sam the second. I got no bond. I got no bond for nonviolent crimes. He doesn't really deserve any bond at all. But if he's gonna have bond, I mean, let's start with no passport. Let's start with no private planes. Let's start mother. Let's start with a black and white or whatever the equivalent of a black and white is, following him everywhere he goes, watching everything like he's been doing to people for so many years.
Right.
It's time for the diddler to become uncomfortable.
Is this the reason why people were saying why Biggie wanted to leave Bad Boy and allegedly why Biggie was murdered? Biggie was involved with the devil. But in my opinion, Biggie knew that shit. I think Biggie knew it the whole time. I just don't think he understood the business. Now, as he started learning the business, he wanted to venture the fuck out. And Diddy was like, nah, you're not about to venture out nowhere. Why do you think the moment the lock signed, they were wanted out? You ever notice the locks never did get their spotlight they were supposed to get? The locks did their thing streetwise because we always took care of them in the hood. Niggas always listened to the locks. But Diddy always made sure the locks didn't get no further outside of the mixtape, didn't he? Jadakiss and them maybe got a feature here and there. But when you look at the rappers who blew up compared to those three, a lot of them weren't better than those three. Even when you look at really outside after 50, there really hasn't been too many NY rappers that blew up. Outside of Pop Smoke, who was on his way. He tried with French Montana, but people weren't feeling French like that because French, he alright, but he's not like dope. He ain't a dope rapper. It almost seems like he was a part of trying to hinder Nas's success too because, let's be honest, Nas is nicer than Biggie. Nas was known as the Don, the King of New York, right? That was the seat he was trying to give Biggie. Diddy was good at manufacturing his artists. Dressing them up, like I explained last night. Where was the success for any of the artists? Diddy was more successful than each and every one of his fucking artists. Diddy would leech on to the next person, to the next person, to the next person, to the next person. Meanwhile, there's a freaking list full of motherfuckers that we forgot about that was down with Bad Boy. They claimed that Bad Boy was the hottest motherfucking record label. How? We don't remember. Nobody lasted more than the album or two with Bad Boy. I can't think of a Bad Boy artist who did more than 2 albums. I'm trying to think. He dropped the ball with Junior Mafia in them. He didn't do shit with Junior Mafia. He dropped the ball with Mace. Mace was Murder Mace. And we know Mace can actually rap. Like when Mace goes in, Mace can go the fuck in. Mace is dope. He want the pretty boy Mace up. I wonder, does Mace have anything to do with any of this stuff? Why you think Mace ran the church the way he ran the church? Mace said, I'm running the church. Mace ran the church. He was so confused he didn't know whether he wanted to be a pastor or be with G-Unit. That's how much Diddy had that nigga confused. Let me put back on Jaguar here.
It's too comfortable.
Damian Williams, the U.S. attorney, stated that he does not want to use the word cooperative.
Released on bond for $75 billion.
Oh, so 75 million?
175?
Or is it 175? Which is it, 75 or 175 they're releasing him for?
He didn't get out on that.
I'm looking up. They just said he's released on bond.
So yeah, he got bond.
He actually did get bond. This was from early. This was before the update that now This was before. Oh, my microphone almost dropped it. This was before the update that we know now that Diddy didn't get the bond. But this was from earlier today.
I want an ankle monitor. I want his passport surrendered. And I want a perp walk. He's out on $75 million. Breaking news.
Diddy's back in the world. Or at least back in his mansion.
No. Diddy's back on the streets. I think I like that. Where's the ankle monitor? I want my perp walk. If Irv got it,
I want my perp walk.
to run around demanding slappy toppy. I think at this point I deserve what I asked. I want my perp walk.
Bonnie, if you allegedly, if you had horse tranquilizers, I think that's when you need to go see the Lord. Anytime you do horse tranquilizers and Tootsie slides, you got to go see the Lord. You got to go talk to him.
Justice for Pac, you better believe it.
Oh yeah. Let me ask you, Jack. And we're gonna break this whole thing down. We're gonna just keep kind of going through this thing. But let me ask you, in your mind, does this now?
And if you ask me, allegedly, we're gonna throw on our thinking hat. Diddy might have allegedly something to do with the murder of Pac because Pac was detrimental to Biggie's success. Tell me when I'm lying. Was Biggie popping when Pac was alive? I'll wait. Was Biggie popping when Pac was alive? What songs? Juicy. That was it. And that was because Puff had the remix. Remember, the original Juicy would sound like shit. The first album is overrated. It's a couple songs on there that's alright, but a lot of it is amateur. The second album is dope. The first album's it's alright. It's not bad and it's not horrible, but it's not great. They did great with Biggie's second album after he passed. Before then, they barely played Biggie shit. They had to put Toto on Biggie Give Me One More Chance. Didn't they? Because it couldn't get radio play. Biggie's first album was not getting radio play. They had to put Toto on Biggie Give Me One More Chance. And then that's when everybody, I remember the hood heard that, heard Toto on that shit, and was like, that's it. And that became the hit. That bump bump. Remember the original version went bump 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 bump. That wasn't hitting the same way as boom doo 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 boom. The boom doo 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 boom. The boom doo 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 boom. The two different vibes. So that's what saved that fucking first album. When Pac was alive, Biggie wasn't even bumping. Niggas didn't start giving Biggie his shit until the murder. And then it was kind of like the Tupac effect, because Pac had just passed, so Biggie kind of the shit rubbed off with Biggie passing. Because really, even when people like the Tupac and Biggie beef and battle, it was kind of one-sided. Biggie ain't got no. I mean, people say who shot you, but Biggie said that had nothing to do with Pac. So I don't know. You feel me? He said it had nothing to do with Pac. He said, you think you'll fall into play while this is going on. We will see. Let's get back to Jaguar Wright.
You look back on the apology. when he was like, "Man, I was effed up." What does that do for? Like, what are your thoughts on that apology now?
That apology lets all of his victims who haven't come forward yet know nothing's gonna happen to me.
Man, when Diddy did that goddamn apology not too long ago, now I knew that shit was some bullshit. He said, "Nigga, down. It's love. I'm love. It's all love. I'm not. I'm not gonna be accountable. I'm just gonna be love. Diddy, my name ain't Diddy no more. My name is Love." I was like, man, this nigga some weirdo shit. A grown ass man run around. Hey, you ever meet a grown man and tell you to call him Love? Nah. Hey, what's up, cuz? Who are you? I'm Love. Nah, bro. You who? Leary. We about to change the lane. Loomis. We not about to do Love. We do a whole bunch of L names. Love ain't one of them. Diddy like 50 years old, running around telling grown men to call him Love. Love what? Call me Love. So that way you can't criticize me because my name's Love. Everything about me is all about love. When I heard that little bullshit speech, I was like, yeah, this nigga up to something. Knew that shit.
Nothing's gonna happen to me. I'm gonna say these words, I'm gonna kick some money around, and you gonna stay hurt, and I'm gonna stay rich. That's what that meant.
Right.
Where that put a little pour some sugar on me.
Can I get your take, Jack, on 1,000 bottles of baby oil?
Why she just start singing out the blue? Pour some Tootsie on me. Did a Tootsie slide.
These 1,000 bottles. Like, in your mind, from what you've seen in your life.
All I'll say is before you start singing that song and playing your games, make sure you comb through it for all the pubic hair left behind.
Oh, shit.
I meant what I said. I would have went in there with a hazmat suit. Those some brave officers. But
Now,
they could have got encephalitis just from sitting on the couch.
Damn.
now,
That's
You know how much rappers sweat? I'm going to be the one to say this. You know how much rapper butt sweat is in P Diddy house? Gross. Look at rapping butt sweat all over the motherfucking house. Who allegedly? Who?
why I don't know why they acting like they was in there looking for anything other than physical tape, because there was so many DNA samples in that house they could have probably created a whole new race.
let me ask you, when it comes to the hotels, he said that, or in the indictment, they said that there was people that were hired to clean up after the freak out. So
I want y'all to think about it. Who introduced all these crazy drugs into our culture? These niggas. They start rapping about this shit. All of a sudden, it's in the hood. Ain't it? Think about it. We're not producing these drugs in the hood. We're not creating them. We're just fucking copying. Not me and you, but you get what I'm saying. Speaking in general, we're just copying. Motherfuckers in the hood ain't coming up with Tootsie. Tootsie something they ain't here. Must be cool. I'm gonna do Tootsie too, because these motherfuckers, they're addicts. All these motherfuckers. I told you, this shit started when we made Scissor cool. And then shortly but slowly, niggas started getting dumbed down. You got niggas that talk like this and bird cut their teeth like this when they talking shit like this. It don't make no sense, but they do that shit. That's these goddamn drugs.
even the people that's hired by the hotel. These are special
No,
people.
they had to bring in outside clean. No, this is
Junkies.
industrial level foolishness we talking about.
It's Breaking Bad level.
Imagine what happened. Now you heard the video, you heard the footage with him and the Meek. Now we also know that TD Jakes is allegedly also a power bottom, and he's a much older man. And they say he's very.
Imagine being on top of TD Jakes. Yeah. Which one would y'all have? You got two choices, life or death, right? Like you have to do one or the other. You either gotta lay on top of a sweaty TD Jakes or clean up all the rappers' butt sex in P Diddy house. You gotta pick one, or else you die. You got three choices. You die, rapper butt sex, lay on top of TD Jakes sweaty and naked. Man, the shit y'all. It's not surprising though. Look at all the goddamn stuff we see on like Instagram and shit with motherfuckers laid up with old men and shit like that, and the old man be sitting there like this and shit. The bitch be sitting there like shit look like a horror film cover, a 90s horror film movie. Like the wrong button.
Enthusiastic in his endeavors. What happens when he pops something loose? You know what I'm saying?
It's funny because they're mentioning sex workers, but they're not mentioning women. They're mentioning men as sex workers.
What?
Yeah.
Like is that a thing where like there's a website or what? It's just wild to hear like you mentioned the
You
normal.
never heard of Grindr?
Oh God.
I personally am not. That is what.
Why don't nobody ever talk about the fact that TD Cakes has an account allegedly on Grindr?
Oh wow.
Grindr is a sex app.
See, and let me tell you something.
Been around for about 15 years.
Grindr been around for 15 years. Guess who didn't know it existed until today? This guy. See what I'm saying? These motherfuckers all in on this shit. Grindr, they said it's a sex app where I'll allow her to explain it. She can explain it better than I. Because I don't know shit about it. Listening to her earlier was the first time I've ever heard of this goddamn app.
It's that. It's pretty much where you could put a GPS in an asshole.
And a tranquilizer.
So you go onto the app and it uses the location. And it routes you to the account of the man closest to you. And then y'all DM and you decide if you're going to do it at the 7-Eleven or do it at the gay club in the bathroom. It's a hookup site for promiscuous gay men.
Wow.
The Grindr.
The Grindr.
Why would a bishop have a ghost account?
They thigh grinding on the Grindr.
Yeah, let me ask you. Also in the 14-page indictment.
Grinding.
Oh, not clips. Not clips.
Grinding. Oh, baby.
Not malice. Not malice. Oh.
She loved the way I did it, but
It's malice what they doing to them people, each other. Booty hole. That's what's going on in the industry. Malice. Straight booty hole malice. Tranquilizer. When I heard the tranquilizer shit, man, listen. That shit make you lean. So that means they be all elite. Man. That's why you ever notice you get random videos? You'll see these dudes like all sweaty and out of it. You'll see it like randomly like on an Instagram or something. But the way how it's placed, it's shorts typically, so you don't get the full picture. But you know something's off. Just like when she brought up about the Justin Timberlake. Who else? Well, he said Justin Timberlake. Oh, Odell Beckham. The Odell Beckham and Justin Timberlake allegedly sucking his peen, right? When you seen that shit, it looked like exactly what you thought you seen. Allegedly.
That's what Cameron said.
Yeah, we're about to go through all the lyrics again. There was an interview I was watching with, or a video I was watching with Jay-Z and Diddy from back in, I guess early 2000s. We're gonna go back and watch through all of this because
I think we need to, because everything was done in your face.
yeah,
They played in all of our faces. All of this stuff was done right in everyone's face. So I want you to imagine how insane it is for the victims who know this is going on, know that the authorities are being paid off, know that no one's going to believe them, and you still got to find a way to survive.
Jack, I want you to speak to Diddy right now.
But
So,
I got to
because-
stay to a sodomite like him. Only thing I would say to him is go to jail, go directly to jail. Do not pass go, do not collect $200. But they didn't give him money.
75
He
days.
done rolled the dice and got all the free parking money. Fucking
Even though you're not getting your perp walk, would you like cameras in? I know they don't put cameras in federal court. Would you like to watch this thing unfold?
Oh, I think they're gonna make an exception.
Ooh.
Diddy just became the new OJ. America can't afford to turn this bag down.
Oh.
I feel it. I feel a Nancy Grace greatest hits coming up. Sean P. Combs is a bad guy. She called him Sean P. Combs. She actually thought that P. Diddy was his legal name.
He
Sean
changed.
P. Combs. He's a bad guy.
He recently changed.
You ain't kidding, Nancy. You ain't kidding.
He recently changed his name to Brother Love to Love. Do you think there was a reason behind him changing his name?
Hold on. It wasn't just Love, it was Brother Love. And then, that name is taken. There's a wrestling manager with red face. He used to, I can't remember how he used to talk to me years ago. But you can look up Brother Love on YouTube. Man, there's something wrong with P. Diddy. Call me Brother Love. If Diddy started wearing suits like Brother Love, now that'd be entertaining.
I mean, I guess it's the only lie that would work left. He done lied about everything else. I guess,
Love.
Like maybe all these things happened when he was in his Diddy phase and before. Now the Love phase, he's on to something
Now
else.
you're saying that this man is suffering from a multiple personality disorder. If that's the case, then we got 4 different predators and they all need to get booked.
That's that drugs.
Yeah, I think he might look for the
From
estate.
Buff Daddy to Puffy to Diddy, now to Love. Oh, let's not forget P Diddy.
P.
Yeah,
Lovey.
we got 5
Love,
different
how about
predators.
we call him Lovely Diddy the Pity? That's what we call him now. Lovely Diddy the Pity. And we'll just call him all one. Or Lovely Puffy. Lovely Puffy Diddy. There you go. All his names in one. Lovely Puffy Diddy. Dun 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 dun.
If we're judging him by the different phases of his depravity, then he needs to be rearrested for the other 4 personalities. Oh,
Now they stated that these freak offs lasted for days. Can your mind imagine going into hour number 72 and you're still getting like, I'm still in the bed with a sex worker? I'm still being watched in the corner?
If you remembered. If you remembered. Guys, Storm Monroe was live today with a young woman I think y'all need to reach out to. She's a subscriber, but she's also a content creator here on YouTube. She has over 50K subscribers. Her name is Love Jones. Today, Love Jones sat with Storm Monroe, and she talked about being with the Combs brothers last summer in a Sprinter, and she don't remember where they took her.
Mm. Okay.
The boys.
Right. And
Apparently, and King.
Right. Hey, that's exactly what he was trying to do. The Nutty Professor, he thought he was Buddy Love. I'm Brother Love.
Have the DeLeon or something.
right.
And she said it was more than DeLeon. Her body tingled all over, and she's.
This shit sad.
I just put prayer hands in the chat. I think y'all need to reach out to Love Jones.
Yeah, and also the lady who was on that yacht that she said the son, it was Diddy's yacht, but she was only hired as a bartender, and there was something spiked in her accused too.
You'd be surprised how many of those party workers get assaulted in those.
That's crazy.
I was telling them we've been drinking on the name of them. Here, you know what? For your pain and suffering, they cut them a check for 10, 20K, and then they sign the NDA, and then that's all that.
Right, and what did I say last night? I said that most people's lives is worth $10,000. Most people would take $10,000 as enough to end somebody or shut somebody up. Most people only value their life at $10,000, which is fucking crazy when you think about it. Fucking crazy. In their head, they think they'll never see $10,000 cash. And they feel like they have to jump at it. 10,000 cash, it's not a lot of money at all.
Will you go back and
Here comes
re-listen?
Diddy. Is Diddy coming out?
Oh.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Hold on. I want my purple. Baby, where's the camera? Let's document this for posterity. I want to see him look as humiliated as he should look after what he put those boys through.
I don't think he's coming out.
Well, they're not going to make him perfect. I guess for $75 million, you could buy a safe exit.
Yeah, they might grant you that. He's basically paying for the case for him.
I want the world to know. Nuh-uh, not the Diddy lubricant. I can't.
Oh no.
Take that.
Take
Take that.
Hey, if somebody makes Diddy lubricant and it says take that right now, that shit is flying off the shelves.
I wonder if that's what his cellmate's gonna say.
Let me ask you, should we go
they
back
made
and
sure he ain't had to go to lockup. Because if he had to go to lockup,
That'd be his ass.
it would have his whole ass. All Diddy and with all due Diddy. Yeah, Diddy Rain. Diddy Rain.
with all Diddy respect? Should we go back, Jack, and watch Carisha's interview with Diddy? Because a lot was said in that interview about peeing on her and doing it for hours, and he can't stop, and he won't stop, and take that. A lot was said. Should we go back and rewatch it?
This nigga sound like Diddy. I be peeing on bitches. I can't stop it. I won't stop. Sound like a Bad Boy song, didn't it? So see where that shit come from? Bad Boy. Won't stop. Can't stop. Peeing on bitches.
What's going on now?
I mean, I think you can, but I think she should watch it. I think she should watch that every day
Bad Boy Golden.
until she falls on her knees and prays for prayer.
Bad Boy Golden Showers. It'll be their new adult film.
Lord, please teach me how to pray so I can save my soul. He ain't beat you. He just peed on you all the time. He treats you like a toilet. But he respected you enough not to hit you, please.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, we can watch it.
They also stated that after these freak-offs, and again, this is all in the indictment, so y'all can go read it or go find it and read it. That IV fluids were needed after these freak-offs, like to get a needle in.
How many times have y'all heard me say, "What kind of bitch needs an IV in a bedroom"? How many times have y'all heard me say that?
That shit, wow.
Come on.
Got pump fluids.
Concierge medicine is what's preferred. You call up a doctor that doesn't want to play by the they get to charge 3 times as much and it is as fast.
Right.
Don't fix so fast. He called a concierge doctor.
They gotta pump these chicks with IVs to keep them flowing because they getting so goddamn used in these goddamn sex parties with the drugs, the horse tranquilizers and shit. They got private doctors. God damn, this shit getting cold. And heating up.
But usually they leave behind complimentary saline, hydrate, fluxes.
Look.
Needs to go like this to rehydrate.
I gotta pause this for a second because we're gonna speak back up of what I brought up last night. Remember when we were talking about Diddy and Drake and their argument outside of the hotel room and no one knows what it was? Do you think they were trying to trank Drake? You think they were trying to trank Drake? Drake was like, nah, he was trying to sing his way out of it. No, I don't wanna. No, just leave me alone. I'm going back to the 6. Dude was like, no, nigga, we gonna tranquilize your ass, nigga. Get your ass in here, Drake. Get your ass in here, Drake. Drake didn't go nowhere, didn't speak up on nothing. Drake was so goddamn tranquilized. When he was done, he came out and got mad at Kenny. He got confused. He got so confused, he was looking in the West Coast, not the East Coast. Them motherfucking tranquilizers. Right. When that hotline bling, it can only mean one thing. It's all making sense. It all makes fucking sense, doesn't it? You wonder why real niggas, we don't relate to a lot of the new music per se, because they ain't talking to us. It ain't our vibe. Now that we're learning Tootsie Slide, Hotline Bling, yeah, it all making sense now. These niggas want to be together, meet up, hit each other on their IGs, bro, right? Getting each other's blankets and shit. Baby oil nights. Yeah. Probably watching Monday Night Football or some shit, Sunday night games. Why you think all these niggas got over emotional ass music with no real soul to it? Just all emotion. It make lots of sense. Let's get back to Jaguar Wright.
Hey, body. The damage they done the night before.
Yeah, one thing that is interesting is that one thing that's interesting is that they stated no condoms were found. Like, they didn't rack up any condoms or anything.
Damn.
Yeah.
Just raw baby oil from the late great ODB. Ooh, baby, I like it raw. Ooh, baby, I like it raw. Baby oil. Ooh, baby, I like it raw with baby oil. Ooh, baby, I like it raw with baby oil. Them niggas doing it raw with baby oil. I just don't even want to see. I don't want to imagine this sight. Any ladies in the chat room or ice cream dudes in the chat room, y'all can imagine this shit for me. All I can think is pure comedy. This shit is pure comedy to find out that everything we already knew is just all now coming to light, and now niggas can't escape it. Now niggas can't escape it. You can no longer call niggas haters. You can no longer call people tinfoil hats. Once again, another year the tinfoil hats have been proven right again.
That's horrible.
If you're dancing with the devil willingly, the last thing you should be.
She lagging like a motherfucker.
What good are you unless they to mark their territory and see the world? Ask Curtis.
No, that was.
Yeah, he bopped. He bopped until he dropped.
What the? Okay, there, she spoke at 50 right there. She just spoke at 50 Cent. And when she's saying Diddy Bop, is this in reference in the same way she was talking about Meek Diddy bopping? Yo, is this why like 50 and Diddy be having like this tit for tat relationship? Because there's more to it. If it come to find out that all these niggas all part of one big orgy, you know the damage this is going to do to hip-hop? If this is one big fuck fest of butt sex with dudes, with rappers, this going to do a lot of damage because, again, this does not just represent now. I believe we know this leads back to even the beginning of our culture because we got the shit with African Bambaataa and them niggas, and then allegedly, and then the shit with Russell Simmons. Allegedly. Right? So it's kind of like the hip-hop game has kind of been, right, Russell's still away. Russ, and he ain't coming back no more. Hit the road, Russ. He gone. But it goes to show that there's been in the industry, there's a lead way to ice cream. Someone probably said, "The fuck you keep saying ice cream for?" Because we can't say, you'll get it by the end. We explained this last night. I'm going to just say ice cream for now till I come up with another word. Why ice cream? Because ice cream all sweet and shit, right? So just ice cream for now. Come to find out that they've been, the word I was looking for just popped up in my head. Come to find out that they've been grooming. I believe they've been grooming since the beginning of the music industry in general. Hip-hop was just another way to start grooming the kids from the poor communities, the poor black communities. Because people, right, Hollywood, right. That's why I'm not just saying hip-hop like it's a black thing. Nah, I think there's a underline of success, of controllers. That's why Diddy's being blamed, because it's this, again, another distraction from also a lot of things that's going on in the world with, the border and the elections and things like that too. Now we have the nigga distraction, right? Just on time, ain't it? September, elections, November. Ain't it? Y'all better watch these folks. Nigga distraction time. The niggas that are smart enough to realize that this is a distraction as well, to take their attention away from paying attention, huh? From what's really going on. These folks know what they doing. For anybody that hasn't hit that like button in here, I know there's only a couple handfuls of folks in here. Hit that like button for your boy. But yeah, this is a distraction. That's why I won't be surprised that this does blow over in a couple months to a year, because this is something that they are using. Because this what can happen. Diddy can take the hit and later on get the payment. Do you feel me? Yeah, just go out there and look bad for a bit. We got you later. We'll do a documentary for you or something. You know what I'm saying? BET special or some stupid shit. You feel me? What up, Kelly? How's it going? They have ways of doing shit. Right, Black Magic Control, all of this stuff. Look up Jordan Maxwell. I know about Jordan Maxwell. He's an intelligent dude. I've known the Jordan Maxwell for like 15 years or so. Because them guys are old school YouTube content. Do you guys believe if Cassie is going to be coming out, or is she going to stay silent? Because as we know, she already signed the NDA and got paid off. Can she break that contract? It's almost like they were playing chess, not checkers. They got the Cassie shit out the way before this shit happened. So she couldn't be included into this shit because she already signed the NDA. Right. And she may be one of the most important pieces to putting him away. But if she can't say something, everybody else is gone. It's a possibility, Kelly, but also look at this. When you read the letter, right, the discovery letter, there's no proof to anything. There's going to have to be snitches. There's going to have to be snitches from reading that discovery. Right, 420, he purposely did that. That's why I said they were already playing chess last year. They were just waiting for everything to keep. They knew eventually shit was going to happen. Don't forget, we know he has an intelligent lawyer, well-paid lawyer, high-end lawyer. Right, but who's going to be the 2 or 3 people? That's what we're all waiting for. Who's going to be the 2 or 3 people? Because if they tell he didn't do things alone, there's going to be a effect. There's going to be more than just him. So some people may not come out because it may affect more than just Diddy. It may affect other people who they don't want to get in trouble. That's why I said you said Gene Deal will be one. Oh, he will. I gotta find a video of Gene Deal. You think Gene Deal's gonna go testify against him? That'll be interesting. Right, it would be a huge ripple effect. You know how many people's gonna be involved with this sexcapade? All those people you see dressed up at those white parties. Like what the cat say? You gotta tell Diddy no when he want a party. And who was it recently said, yeah, I go to the parties, but I be leaving early. See, niggas be talking in code, but they don't want to say nothing because they ain't trying to ruin their spot. They talking code. I be going to the parties, but I make sure I leave at 10. Because he know ain't nothing going on before 10. Everything happened at midnight. He said he already will. All right, cool. If I can find this video, Gene Deal, I'm going to put it on. I'm going to finish this video here of Jay Wild right here real quick. So actually, I'm pretty much almost done. And then there was another video I wanted to put on that I found. Fuck, just give me a minute. I'll put it up. Let me put this on.
Goddamn.
Hi, Daphne.
What?
I can't wait for her subpoena to
Oh,
come in. Boy.
the other video is I haven't heard what Judge Joe Brown had to say, but I'm very interested to hear what he's going to say. So I'm going to play and obviously do my commentary over there as well. But we get back to Jay.
Well, she gonna have some shit to say.
And again, I know we're just rehashing all these things, but when you see that there was recordings that they have all these recordings, and most of them probably unknown to the victims. What are your thoughts when
All of them unknown to the victims. Even though it should have been known.
Yeah, without question. Without question.
This is the real world. This is the real world. Humans has a little devil seance. Katy Perry running around looking like a hermaphrodite.
Hold on. Does she? Or am I tripping? When did Katy Perry look like a hermaphrodite? Am I tripping? Katy Perry titties are from heaven. No, I'm playing. Now let's get back to Jaguar.
Flying around with devil wings.
Jack, you've said a lot in our interviews. Do you feel like the federal government may go back and watch some of the things you said, even in our interviews, just to try to
They're already watching.
Comb, no pun intended?
They're already watching.
Sure.
They've been watching. I would know. I've been told. And I ain't gonna be no witness unless I choose to be. That's really why I hate me. I know the law too good. I know what they're afraid to tell the truth about, and they know I'm not afraid to tell it.
Facts. I don't know, we're
See,
gonna take a moment.
problem. That's the problem. They're never going to admit that the reason why Sean Carter has been able to do all that he's done is because they gave him permission to do it. And everybody knew it.
Right, and that's why they prop up a lot of these guys like Jay-Z and the rest of them, so that when we're young teenagers or early 20s, late teens and stuff, and we're watching these guys on the come up, we get the impression from them that they'll come from the same struggle that we're coming from, right? We're not even thinking at those times where we don't have the knowledge, the know of, to realize them guys are being boosted. These guys are being placed into these spots. So what we start doing is backstabbing and killing each other to try to get to the same position as these niggas, not realizing that these niggas ain't living what we's doing. They're just creating the culture that what we're doing, to hyping it, basically. But they ain't actually living it. They doing something else. These motherfuckers are props. We're just being the dummies, taking each other out to try to get their position that we ain't never gonna get, because it's a game. It's a fucking game.
Pause right there. Pause right there, Jack. We're gonna take what they call a recess in court, and we're gonna come right back. We're gonna stop right there, take a recess, come right back.
Yeah, this shit crazy, man. This shit only going to get crazy. I want to read what Kelly said here in a second. She said, Kelly said, my question is, why is Jay-Z and Beyonce so quiet? They are usually the loudest every 4 years. That's true, right? Presidential time. Usually Bey is coming out for they, especially the left-handed over there. So, yeah, they are quiet. You said he's probably nervous. I thought this was longer. What happened? I see a divorce coming soon. He's probably nervous as fuck. Something. And you know what they're going to do? Remember the incident with him in the elevator? They're going to go all the way back to that, right? This is how Beyonce is going to get left out of it. If Jay-Z gets wrapped up in it, right? They're going to go all the way back to the elevator thing and say that was the reason why Beyonce's leaving Jay, because all the dirt he's done in their outside of their relationship, and including the elevator shit, right? They been mad, boy. This shit is. They basically playing a movie and shit right in our goddamn face. So if that does happen, do not be surprised if that, what I said about the elevator, people start bringing that, they start using that as a narrative. I won't be surprised one bit. They only had the one kid, didn't they? Blue. They didn't have any more kids. I know Beyonce was my wife. She would have about like 2 basketball teams, my kids. We rich too? How we rich and having one kid? Oh no, we got. You said they got 3? Do they got 3 kids? Jay-Z and Beyonce got 3 fucking kids. Do they? Man, the ignorance of me. I don't remember. I remember Blue. What's the other ones? The one that, because Blue looked just like both of them. I can't even. Yeah, see. I don't keep up with B. I'm not part of the hornet nest. The hive, the beehive. I got another video of Judge Jizzy McSquizzy. I'm going to play some Judge Jizzy McSquizzy here in a second. Some Judge Joe Brown. Judge Joe Brown be saying some real shit. He be sounding like one of them old niggas be keeping it real. Okay, here it is here. He one of them old niggas that the new generation don't like listening to because he say that shit that's the truth. The young generation so dumbed down. Done a lot of Trump. Judge Joe Brown. Let me get this on the screen. This is, I'm trying to look for the Hip Hop News Uncensored YouTube channel. Okay, let me put that over there.
I was a criminal defense lawyer, and starting more than 40-some years ago, I started getting clients who had federal cases, and we'd have to go to trial with the feds. I represented a lot of pimps and prostitutes 40-some years ago, and there's West Memphis, Arkansas, really close to Memphis, Tennessee, right across the bridge. And down here in Mississippi, there's what's been glamorized as P Valley in the series. And I would have pimps transporting dancers and prostitutes across the state line. So we'd get not RICO, but Mann Act charges against them. The Mann Act was designed to catch Jack Johnson, a black heavyweight champion of the world before World War I that could not be defeated by any great white hope.
Right. For y'all don't know about, like, loud as shit. For anyone who don't know about Jack Johnson's before Muhammad. Jack Johnson's like one of the original OGs. He used to just run around whooping everybody's ass, had all the bitches, and they were hating on him.
Jack Johnson had a white wife, and she had some friend girls that would travel around with her, and particularly in the South, a lot of white people found that very offensive. So they set up the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, to develop a proposed law that became known as the Mann Act, and that was designed to get Jack Johnson. Now understand, this was this man's lawful wife, but he was riding on a train across a corner of Georgia, let's say, on the way to a seaport and on the way to Europe. And because they weren't armed at the time, the FBI was accompanied by local law enforcement officers. And in Georgia...
By the way, that static's not me. That static's their audio. Just in case you're wondering, I can't do shit. If you guys are hearing static, that got nothing to do with me. That's this audio.
Let's just say that 100 some years ago, they did not recognize interracial marriage. So Jack Johnson was arrested for transporting a woman, his wife, across interstate lines for illicit purposes.
See?
So there is no money necessity involved in this, but it is known as the Mann Act. I'm looking at the 14-page.
See, he was traveling with his wife and was charged under the Mann Act. Man, boy, I'm telling you, boy, America.
Indictment right now. And it doesn't say Mann Act anywhere in there, where usually it would. It mentions the Federal Code section. I'm looking at the rest of the 14 pages, and I find it absolutely extraordinary because there are only 3 counts to this indictment. And ordinarily, in my experience, an indictment like this would read, between the dates of 2009 up until the return of the indictment, the defendant did unlawfully transport females across state lines for illicit purposes, and they leave it at that. You would be guessing what they were talking about. You'd have to file motions to get a more particular statement, and the feds would fight like hell to keep you from finding out the details so they could try you by ambush. For these 3 counts in the indictment, they went over and over a lot of things. Like, for example, each particular phase of this thing, they keep repeating all of the defendant's aliases. Their standard procedure is in the very first paragraph. The defendant, in this case, and they list his aliases hereinafter known as the defendant, referred to as the defendant, and they would just say defendant in each count where that was necessary instead of repeating all of this. 2,000 bottles of lubricant oil. What in the devil is that? That has no business in the indictment. You have other things in here. The IV, where the performers were given IV infusions to keep their energy up, I guess, because these things have gone on so long. Now, let's translate what they're talking about. They're talking about an accusation that they never did say, but it's inferred that Diddy was pimping an orgy that lasted a while, and he did this on a routine basis, and there were guests that they referred to in the indictment as numerous witnesses, and these guests were coming to a mansion where there were various sex acts going on in various parts of the mansion for purposes of inspiration, and the guests could join in or be inspired by what they were seeing. They even mentioned in here, which was just the scandalous superfluity in this indictment, that Diddy was masturbating during the course of some of these proceedings, which would that's surplus language. That's just trying to inflame. They referred to this thing where we saw on video him running out of the hotel room with a towel without giving any of the background behind it and assaulting this woman. And they referred to it, and that's for inflammatory purposes because that's just part of the pimp game. By the way, anybody's talking about, yeah, man, I'm pimping, man, you know. That's what it's about. It's a filthy game. I represented enough pimps to know what the game is. It's been a long time ago, but it's been the same since time immemorial. They do call.
One thing you learn, how many of y'all know one game that's never changed? When you're in the streets, what's one game that's never changed? A lot of people believe it is, but it has never changed. The pimp game. It's always existed and always will. Whether you like it or not, it's always existed and it always will.
Prostitution, the world's second oldest profession, and whatever the first oldest one was, whoever was doing whatever that was to earn the money to pay for the services of the second oldest profession. So it's been going on for a long time. It's nothing new.
Right.
And what I'm picking up on is that Diddy is being alleged to have conducted these sex shows, and he invited guests who had the use of his mansions.
So my thoughts on this. Let's be straight up. What's the difference between Diddy and Hugh Hefner? What's the difference between Diddy and Hugh Hefner? Hugh Hefner wasn't flying out chicks. They weren't having Playboy sex orgies. I'm just saying.
To be involved in an orgy as they saw fit. He also is alleged to have recorded this, and that's where we get to what we're looking at. Somebody important is being or was recorded on these devices, and somebody is being protected. Now, I noticed that Diddy, through his lawyer, has been in continuous contact with the feds for quite a few.
You heard Judge Joe Brown. He said, Ed, somebody is being protected. Because, again, like I said, there's got to be some snitching going on here. Because the Diddy, you feel me? He just wasn't all in this all alone. And everyone was just victims and shit, man. Nah, they're protecting somebody. And see, Judge Joe Brown, he's trying to tell you, he's well-versed, experienced in these kind of things. It's kind of funny that he's saying a lot of the same things that, a lot of us that with brain cells are actually thinking. That there's, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Few months. Back in March, he surrendered his passport. He returned to New York, where he did not live, and secured a residence so he could participate in the defense of the case, which is all that's required. He was supposed to have been apprised of when the indictment would be unsealed, and he would be required to report with his lawyer and surrender himself after making bond arrangements. And there was supposed to have been a discussion on how much the feds were going to recommend the bond be set at. They ambushed him and arrested him in a shopping center with some of his kinfolk. And now they want him kept incognito. Incommunicado, so he cannot talk to anyone. That's what the feds have been doing, and most recently involving these mortgage fraud situations, so that parties who could blow the whistle on other parties were not able to communicate with anyone, even their lawyers, but say once a week. So they could not tell what they knew, and that's what we have here. It is unusual for Homeland Security to be involved in these things, and there are some references in here that the offenses had an international impact, which brings in Homeland Security instead of leaving this up to the FBI, which is for domestic matters, ordinarily of this type of thing. And remember, the FBI was set up to go get Jack Johnson so they could set up and prosecute under what became the Mann Act. So this is the FBI's bailiwick. They were only present during the service of the search warrants. They weren't the primary parties. What that indicates to me, in my experience, is that somebody in the FBI was not deemed trustworthy and might give confidential information to somebody outside, which they didn't want, so they brought in Homeland Security. This is not ordinarily the type of thing that Homeland Security deals with.
Right.
So,
right. Yo, y'all heard Judge Joe Brown, and he's 1,000% correct. Motherfucking, what is Homeland Security dealing with Diddy? So, like he said, there's something going on with the FBI, possibly, allegedly. You feel what I'm saying? Because they're doing compartmentalized between the FBI, Homeland Security, and the police. Oh yeah, no. I told you, there's more people behind this shit. If Diddy going down, he ain't going down alone. If they can't get him down alone, this ain't gonna look the way people think. For real. You know YouTube won't.
There's two of his mansions were searched. One was in California, fine. One was in Florida. The peculiar thing about the one in Florida is that on the same lot, Diddy had a second mansion which was not searched. And what they seem to have gotten is a lot of recordings that they confiscated. Now, you might say that's evidence in the case, but the point of the exercise is that even though quite a few people are mentioned indirectly, only one person got...
Has anybody outside of Judge Joe Brown spoke on two mansions? He just said Diddy has two mansions on the property. Has anybody else spoke of the two mansions, or is he the only one mansion that's in the picture?
Indicted. In the federal practice is usually when you have months to investigate something, they indict everybody and they mention everybody, even if they are listed as an unindicted co-actor. They did not do that in this case, which is indicative of them trying to hide somebody's identity and protect some people. The other point is from what you can determine, most of this happened in Florida or California. Why no indictments returned there, and why did they pick New York? What they seem to have done is, considering the totality of the circumstances, and the U.S. attorney.
Judge Joe Brown is nailing a lot of things in what people should be thinking of, but they're not thinking of. If they're all based in California, which they are, why they raiding New York? And what was the other thing Judge Joe Brown just said that stood out? Let me go back just about 30 seconds or so, because it really stood out.
To hide somebody's identity and protect some people. The other point is from what you can determine, most of this happened in Florida or California. Why no indictments returned there, and why did they pick New York? What they seem to have done is, considering the totality of the circumstances and the U.S. attorney involved, is they picked New York because it was particularly hostile to Donald Trump and particularly favorable to protecting anybody who is against Trump. So we're kind of put on clue as to who the rest of these unmentioned witnesses, meaning attendees at these events, happen to be. The other point I find interesting is they made a big to-do during the bond review situation that they had yesterday with the fact that he had 3 disassembled carbines and some loaded magazines. Now, everybody and his mama has stuff like that in Florida since it's a constitutional carry and gun-friendly state. In New York, there are a bunch of little freaks who get, oh my God, he's got a gun. And even though there were some federal crimes involved with altered serial numbers on the 3 receiver groups, which is against the law, I think they picked New York so they could use the fact that he had 3 weapons, which, hell, everybody on my block has got 10 times more than that, as something condemning and touching on or giving semblance to some justification for not setting a bond or even allowing a bond. Now, they're going to go in front of a federal court today, I imagine. And if not, they'll probably go trot down to D.C., which is not that far from New York, and seek one of the appellate judges on the Second Circuit Court of Appeals to set a bond. They can pick anyone they want. The government can come back and demand a bigger hearing, and they'd probably have a 3-member panel that would be selected at random. But in any event, something stinks to high heavens with this whole case.
I'm not a judge. How the fuck is Judge Joe Brown saying the same things I said? I told you I dealt with the law. I beat a charge. I beat one. So I know how to deal with the law. So I know how to pay attention to words, so just certain shit. This man said a bunch of shit that I've said. I didn't. First, I'm hearing this just as brand new. Some of y'all may be listening to it. But I told you that there's something funny about this whole case. It's big. It's bigger than Diddy. Diddy's just being the blame. Why? That's why I said in order for Diddy to go down, there's going to have to be a lot of dirt being called out, and a lot of other people have to go down. It ain't just going to be Diddy.
With that said, I'll pass the mic.
Yeah, no, that's
the feds or Homeland Security, because it seems like it's a fight between the two. One of them or one of the other could be using Diddy to help turn on others. We don't know yet. It's a possibility. Diddy could turn around, flip, and go, yo, this is bam, bam, bam. And he could be like, I'm a victim. I got horse tranquilizer in my booty. It was Clyde Davis. It was Andre Harrell. It was Craig Mack. Because he was kicking flavor in my ear. Gave me a tranquilizer and put a pickle in my rear. This shit about to get crazy. And I'm going to be... We will be here to follow this case. We definitely will be. Don't forget, while we got a couple ears here Friday night, we will be doing the Kendrick versus Drake battle. We're going to do one last review of the battle, especially where Kendrick just dropped the latest song. We're going to start from the timeline of the songs, so we can have the Drake fans in here, or we can have the Kendrick fans in here, or the people who just fuck with both. But I hope to see y'all Friday night around the same time we started tonight, and we're going to be doing some play some motherfucking music in this bitch to try to talk about this I hate calling rapping beef, but the rap battle. It's all that it is, a fucking rap battle. But we gonna get down that Friday. Anyway, let's get back to this video here.
Information. Over the last few months, people have kind of been leaving little comments and saying little things, like that. The next thing I'll ask you is,
hold on one second. I seen a picture today on Facebook of Little Kim before all the extra shit now that she has, the plastic surgery. Kim was drop dead gorgeous, yo. Do you guys believe all this stuff that we're hearing now, that we're gonna hear more, killed her pride? It gave her a lot of insecurities. To my knowledge, allegedly, Biggie was very abusive. He was abusive to Kim, and he was abusive to fucking what's the other lady's name? Faith. And I'm wondering, a lot of that and the stuff that Kim's probably had to do that we don't know is what made her start self-hating herself, making her feel like she wasn't as beautiful as she was. And then Kim doesn't look near the same of what she used to look like at all. When I seen the picture there, I was just like, oh man, what happened to that Kim? I haven't seen that Kim in a long fucking time. Cause what, the Kim we see now, that shit started with around the time she did the feature with Mobb Deep, didn't she? She was already starting to change her look, right? That was around the Mobb Deep time, right? The realness, that shit, right? Hip hop. That's when her look started changing around that fucking time. And it just got worse and worse and worse. And then now she looks like a porcelain doll blown up with a little bit of air stuffed into it.
What do you see being the outcome of this case? And it looks like Diddy's going to be the fall guy. Do you see him getting bond, and do you see him being convicted?
Well, if they can prove the allegations, remember there are only 3 counts. And basically what they're accusing him of is pimping and procuring.
I said this.
And one count that deals with the after effects of doing what pimps do to ply their business. And an inference that somehow or another this is organized crime, which is not the intent of RICO. By the way, they don't use the word RICO in the indictment, which ordinarily they would. And RICO is 54 years old. It was passed in 1970, and it was to deal with John Gotti type situation, gangsters, drug cartels, and that kind of situations. You see it being used or bastardized in Georgia to go after a teachers group, former president of the United States for engaging in political activity, and for proceeding against a rap group for having some disagreeable lyrics. So it's being corrupted. It's racketeering influenced, organized crime is what the thing stands for. RICO. Racketeering or influenced criminal organizations. And they are pushing it for political purposes. And the last time they did this was about 10, 11 years ago, when they had a series of prosecutions that were initiated on state levels for mortgage fraud, mortgage foreclosure fraud. You got some people who had something that would have contributed evidence-wise in sustaining these allegations of foreclosure fraud. They got locked up and charged peripherally for remotely associated things. And interestingly, what the feds did is they used Homeland Security to get them locked incommunicado so they couldn't communicate with anybody. And particularly, the governor in Maryland got implicated in one of these scams, and his niece, who was a federal prosecutor, busted somebody that could have blown the whistle on him. And that person got held incommunicado. Then there was, of course, the thing with the presidential candidate Kamala Harris out on the West Coast with George Soros, who was also hooked up with the Maryland thing, and One West Bank, along with Mnuchin, who was the CEO for that bank, and became part of the Obama administration for a year, the Trump administration for that matter. But people were locked up and held incommunicado, so they could not do anything about it. But there were 5,200 counts of indictments returned against One West Bank. And the mention that Kamala Harris, when she got elected as Attorney General for California, consolidated, dismissed, and then a few weeks later, Soros sold One West Bank for, I think it was $3.42 billion, made a tidy profit off of it. So this is part of a process that got put in place 40 years ago by Eastland from Mississippi, Biden, and Byrd, who had formerly been Grand Dragon for the Klan in the U.S., and they were in the U.S. Senate together, and they added these provisions to U.S. criminal law codes that allowed this kind of persecution for political purposes. So it's nothing new. It's been around for 40-some years. I've defended people who've been caught up in it. That's been a while ago, but it is a bad thing. So this is the same thing that went after R. Kelly about in a couple of his series of cases. His circumstances are somewhat different because that involved underage children. But as I'm reading this indictment, and as I'm talking to you, I'm going back over it again. I don't see any references to underage children in this indictment.
Right.
So, any questions or comments so far?
Yes, sir. And we highlighted some of those.
So, as you see it, there was no children involved, so far that we know of, anyways. It was all adults. All adults. The courtroom's gonna have a ball with this. The content creators, we gonna have even more ball with this shit. Because this is probably gonna be a year of content for people. This is not going to be settled anytime soon. This thing's going to go prolonged for about a year. I'm going to listen to these questions here and see what questions he asked Judge Joe Brown. I'm interested to hear.
Exact points yesterday as well, as far as there's no underage. Didn't seem like in the indictment there were any underage involvement, which would obviously be...
That nigga voice deep. That nigga voice deep. He talked with the throat.
Deemed as guilty, and that would be crazy and things like that. What I want to ask you is, it seems as though federal authorities are using the tactic of crushing his character and making him guilty in the public before being guilty in the court of law. Is that a tactic that the feds typically use, and how beneficial is that? And do you think that's going on right now?
You can thank the current president of the United States for that. I just alluded to it. Eastland and Byrd came up 40 years ago with changes in the federal criminal laws that allow that to happen. It's called these days lawfare. That's what they're talking about. Now, Diddy is presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. They have to put the trial on and they have to convict him. But what I'm looking at is an extra effort to totally discredit him. So if he is later in a position of being a whistleblower, his credibility will be completely destroyed, and public opinion can be steered in a direction where basically anything he says can be ignored or discredited. I think that's why it's looking like it does. As I look at it and read the indictments, it's nothing that I haven't run into before, representing a lot of pimps, prostitutes, and dancers. And it's just pimping and procuring. That's what they're talking about. And in this case, the purpose was to set up some freak parties, freak shows, orgies, where performances were being performed.
And if you think about it, if Diddy goes to jail for life for freak parties, I mean, come on. Are we being realistic here? If Diddy goes to jail for life for freak parties, not unless these people come out and say that they're all goddamn, the grape. Can they? All these people have benefited from being around Diddy. All of them, they've gravitated towards Diddy because they wanted to be a part of the industry. They kind of got their reward. Diddy got his. It was a fair exchange, as they say, right? It's a fair exchange. I already told you, if no one, this shit ain't gonna be what people think it is unless motherfuckers come out and snitch. That's just facts. And who's gonna come out and snitch? Because again, it's gonna be a ripple effect. It's going to affect other people. It's either going to be a mess or it's going to be hush.
Especially put on in various places in a mansion while the rest of the folk could get their freak on. That's what you're looking at here.
Right.
Right. Now there's another aspect of it as well where they are accusing him of forcefully, making men and women do sexual acts that they did not want to do. Okay.
They wouldn't even say that. That's just adding a bit in there to make it look worse. Essentially, there's 3 counts to this indictment, but instead of 2 pages, it's 14 because they add a lot of the stuff in there to make it look horrible to the typical person that is likely to get this, which most aren't. They just hear the news media talk about it.
So now it's been a lot of discussion going on, and we can argue to our face turn blue whether or not Diddy is a good man or not. But we're talking about whether or not he has broken the law to the point where he needs to be put behind bars for a number of years, and that's where we're at right now. In your opinion?
That's not the important part.
Right.
That's well set up, the due process of law in the Bill of Rights and also in the 14th Amendment. He's got the right to due process, whether it's on a state level, which this is, federal level, which comes in under the Bill of Rights. What we're talking is, why is the U.S. government taking it upon itself to do what it's doing, where it becomes very obvious if you read between the lines, they're trying to protect somebody instead of prosecute them as co-actors in this mess, and why they're trying to do what they're doing to silence somebody who might expose who those protected people are. Keep the Epstein.
What did I say? I told you. There's more snakes in the garden. We talking about Judge Joe Brown. This ain't a stupid man. He knows the law.
Thing in mind. We know who was on the list of visitors to the island and who flew on the airplanes, because those things have been published. But this time, this close to this crucial November election, it strikes me that somebody does not want that to happen again.
Didn't I just say it's close to the... Man, listen.
I'll put words in your mouth. Were we kind of alluding to maybe former presidents and political people?
No, Trump has nothing to do with this one.
I was talking also about Obama, maybe.
No,
okay.
This is Mrs. Imhoff is married to a big-time Hollywood lawyer. Prior to 2014, when she married him, this big-time Jewish Hollywood lawyer who has a lot of clients in the communications industry. They were all on Kamala Harris's behind about her little goings on. It stopped suddenly in 2014 when she married somebody who had a Hollywood inside. And you have to understand, who is this that's likely to be going to these parties, and who is it involved that it is an entertainer? Is there some kind of implication that would influence that person's campaign? And we already know what kind of freak she has already been. We look at Willie and Montel, and when she was in Howard, and some other things going on out there in California that are a bit wild. So this, remember, has been going on allegedly since 2009.
Damn.
Who is implicated in this? It's not Trump. This is brought to you by people who are very much against Trump and more likely to protect somebody else. I find it unprecedented that none of these witnesses are listed with the rest of the detail, which is not surprising in a federal case since they try to obscure their witnesses. See, in a state case, every one of the 50 states, unless the prosecution can show the judge that some witness's life is in danger, they have to give the defense the list of witnesses, their contact information, and not only the ones they know about, the ones that they should have found out about in the exercise of what they call due diligence in an investigation. A state prosecution has to be transparent, but in the feds, they do it by ambush. So I'm particularly concerned about the input of all of these gory details in here, which are designed essentially to inflame the public.
Right. Could we? Yep.
I don't know, because it's going to depend upon the jury. But you see, now you've got a situation where subtly and perhaps allowably they've tainted any New York jury because they've been showing these film clips.
Yep.
So whatever the juror is told, unless there's an exceptionally able jury selection, you're going to get people in the eye, saw what he did, and you can hear it on some of social media. We had an egg space, Dana and I, the real Dana and I, did last night, and there were some people that called in. They didn't care what the law was. He needed to go to jail because of the horrible things he did. But you see, that's not American law.
Right.
See a lot of that right now.
Yeah.
That shit crazy though. That shit crazy. I already told y'all, and I'm gonna say it again before I shut this one out for the night. It's getting late. We will be back tomorrow. We're gonna do more coverage of this Diddy shit here because there's more news that came out as well, even while I was broadcasting. But I need to do a little bit more research on it. I'm guessing that Diddy plans on suing Cassie is one of the updates, and there's a lot of talk. If you just overall check, obviously it's probably the most popular topic. There was somebody else. There was Gene Deal had spoke too. Maybe I'll play that tomorrow. I gotta find the Gene Deal thing. I'll keep this under 2 hours so this video is not too long. But not under 2 hours, but just a little over 2 hours so the video is not too long. But man, 420, I'm glad to be back. Thank you for being here. Everybody that was here, I appreciate you. But we're going to stay on top. We're going to stay on top of this whole topic here, the Diddy situation. If you guys see something, say something to me in the chat room. Not the chat room, but the comment section. And let me know what video to go check out if you see something that you think I might not be aware of when it comes to this Diddy situation. Because it's quite... I won't even say weird. coincidence that Judge Joe Brown, excuse me, that's how I know it's time to shut this show down. Too much yawning. I know it's not a coincidence that Judge Joe Brown is saying the same things that I said. I didn't know what he said. He obviously didn't know what I said. But smart minds think alike. Intelligent minds think alike. Him having more experience in the law than I do, I just use my common sense. I'm interested to see who's going to be next. Or who won't be next. We'll find out about this Diddy suing Cassie. Cassie ain't got no money to be sued. What, he going to take the money back he paid her under the table to get back? What Cassie do? I don't know. I don't know what Cassie do. Maybe she got money. But not that, I don't know. But it's going to be interesting to see. A lot of the bad boy artists have passed, have they? I wonder which former bad boy artist might come out and speak out against Diddy. If they do. But again, this is a distraction from something else. And that's why I'm glad Judge Joe Brown called it out, because I don't feel as crazy as thinking that. And it's my conscience that helps me confirm a lot of these thoughts. Because it's like I said, where there's smoke, there's fire. When you smell shit, right? When you smell a fart, there's shit backed up by it. And the motherfucker got a shit. And it'd be the same way with most of these motherfuckers, these industry people. We just don't, 9 times out of 10, no, I won't say 9 times out of 10. Sometimes we just don't find out the truth because they have lots of good ways to disguise it, depending on who's your fucking agent, whoever your management is. You know how many goddamn, I believe a lot of them on coke. I can tell. A lot of them now do this thing with their nose. It's like they were just patting their nose or something. Just my observation. They need to smoke some weed. Something I'm getting ready to go do and relax. You guys have a good one. Shout out to all the real ones out there that still fuck with me. Appreciate y'all. All the new people that came today. Appreciate you guys as well. Hope you guys continue to show up. Hit that subscribe button. I'll be live sometime tomorrow night. I'll let y'all know. Y'all stay tuned. Pay attention to the community section. I'll holler at y'all later. Y'all have a safe one. Be easy out there. Peace.